Welcome to today's presentation. Welcome to this part of our discussion on inheritance knowledge in the Arabic language. As you can see, this knowledge is known as Ilm al-Farid. It's a crucial aspect because it guides us on how inheritance is distributed among beneficiaries. Essentially, it teaches us about the predestination of heritage, ensuring that each rightful heir receives their designated share. This knowledge is grounded in the principles of Sharia, which means that the allocation of shares is based on religious guidelines and laws. It's not arbitrary. It's about appointing each beneficiary an appropriate and fair share according to these divine rules. Understanding this helps us appreciate the importance of justice and precision in inheritance matters. It also connects to the broader theme of our presentation, the importance of knowledge and proper application of Islamic laws in everyday life. Certainly, here is the word-by-word narrative script for slide 3 of 5. Now, let's talk about the rights associated with heritage, which are fundamental in ensuring proper management and respect for what is left behind. First, there's the payment of debts connected to the heritage. This means that before any distribution, any outstanding debts or obligations related to the inheritance must be settled. Then, we have the provisions of burial, which refer to the rites and practices related to respecting the deceased's wishes for their burial. Next is the payment of debts pertaining to the death, such as zakat, which is a specific obligation in Islamic law to ensure that financial responsibilities are fulfilled even after someone passes away. Bequeath, or the act of leaving a will, is also a key right. It allows the person to specify how their estate should be divided or used after their death. Finally, inheritance itself is a core concept. It's how the estate is transferred from the deceased to the heirs, according to legal or religious principles. These rights collectively help us understand the responsibilities and procedures involved in handling heritage, tying into our broader theme of responsible and ethical management of possessions after death. Today, I'll be explaining the main causes of inheritance, which are generally of 3 kinds. First, we have marriage, which involves the relationship between a husband and wife. This connection is fundamental because it creates a legal and social bond that often influences inheritance rights. Next, we have blood relationships, and this is where things get a bit more detailed. Blood relationships are categorized into 3 types. The first is springs, which include our ancestors like fathers, mothers, grandparents, and so on, moving upward in the lineage. These are the people from whom we inherit directly through our bloodline. Then we have offsprings, which include children, grandchildren, and further generations downward in the lineage. These are the descendants who are directly linked to us through blood, and their inheritance rights are often based on this direct lineage. Finally, there are collateral relatives. These are relatives related by blood but not in a direct line, like siblings, paternal uncles, and their children. They are part of our extended family and can have inheritance rights in certain circumstances, especially when direct descendants are absent. And then, there's the concept of a master of a slave. Historically, this was a relationship where the owner had certain rights over the individual, which also impacted inheritance and legal considerations. So, understanding these different causes of inheritance helps us see how family ties and relationships influence the transfer of property and rights. It's all interconnected and plays a crucial role in inheritance laws and customs. Now, moving on to some important restrictions regarding inheritance, which are outlined here by the year 2025 by continuous learning development. First, we see that one is forbidden from inheritance by 3 key factors. The first is slavery. It's important to understand that a slave neither inherits nor is being inherited. Essentially, the concept of inheritance doesn't apply to slaves because their status is different. Next, we have homicide. If someone kills another person, they are not allowed to inherit from the person they killed. This rule serves as a form of moral and legal deterrent, emphasizing that wrongful actions like murder sever the inheritance rights. And finally, there's the issue of religious conflict. Specifically, a non-Muslim does not inherit from a Muslim. However, there's an exception. They can receive up to 1/3 of the bequest upon death. This rule highlights the importance of religious boundaries in inheritance laws, while also allowing for some financial support within those limits. Overall, these restrictions serve to uphold moral and social order, ensuring inheritance laws are aligned with ethical and religious principles. They remind us that inheritance isn't just about wealth transfer, but also deeply connected to moral conduct and religious identity.